Welcome back to the Road to National series. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through an upper deload workout. So in my deload workouts, I still sort of do a primary movement, but I just have a bit of fun with it. So on my upper days, I do some sort of pressing variation in substitute of my benching work. And today I decided to do strict presses at 70 kilos. I knew I should be able to get somewhere in the range of like 5 or 6 reps for like a nice deload work. Now, I think I've got sets of 8 on 70 kilos before strict pressing, so I knew this was in my capacity, and my main aim for this deload cycle was to not push too hard. I find it very difficult, particularly on my accessories, not to go to failure. So I was picking lighter weights here. This is the first accessory, which was overhead Swiss bar tricep extensions. And I dropped down to 40 kilos, which if I think about it, isn't that much of a drop. It looks like a massive drop because the plates look tiny on the edges. But my normal working weight is probably somewhere between like 45 kilos and 55 kilos really. So I've not gone that much lighter. This first set I managed to get a set of 20 and I was trying to just move the bar fast and explosively. And I think the second set I stopped at a set of 15 because I had to remind myself, no, stop trying to push to failure. So for me, I normally set like a number in mind that I want to hit for the set given the weight. And with this weight at 40 kilos, I wanted to hit sets of 20. And whilst I did that on the first set, I would have had to push myself basically to like absolute failure to hit it on this second set. So that was my aim of this deload week, like I said, to try and work on holding back a little bit. It just feels like, to me, unless I'm like training pretty much to failure, I feel like I'm not training, like the set isn't complete. So that is what I was trying to bear in mind. Also, when I do deload weeks, it's about doing less, not nothing. I talked about this a lot last time I was doing my deload week, and the reason I'm wanting to hold back this time is I did way too much and didn't come into the next block of training really primed in the deload. But the purpose of your deload week is to sort of prime yourself for your next block of training and to save the progress, sort of maintain the progress that you have already made. So it doesn't necessarily mean just like skipping all of your workouts and going, oh, it's a deload week, I'm still going to do all of my training for this week, but you should be doing it lighter, mainly to prime yourself for your next block of training and make sure you're fully recovered. So the next accessory here has been lat pull downs. Again, sticking with the theme, I went lighter at 150 pounds. My working weight's normally 180 to 200 pounds, and I just did this for 2 sets of 15. But even at the end of that set there, I could feel like a pretty big burn in my lats. So I moved straight on to chest presses at 180 pounds. Here again, I wanted to hit sets of 20. I think I've got a set of 20 before at 200 pounds. So I wanted to hit sets of 20 at 180 pounds. I think on this first set I did hit a set of 20. However, I got pumped in my chest really quickly. That's just a body part for me on this exercise in particular. I get a massive pump very easily and my strength drops off very quickly. So for the second set, similar to the tricep extensions, I realized I was going to have to push myself to like complete failure in order to hit 20 reps. And I might not have even had it in the tank. I might have only been able to get like a set of 18. So I stopped at 15 reps, again, similar to the tricep extensions. So overall, they still went well. And another thing to say for this entire workout is I was trying to do it really quickly. So later on in the workout, you'll see my friend joins. There he is sitting in the corner. And it was also working out. So I was trying to be quick and not like be in the way all of the time for the entire workout. So yeah, I was trying to move through my exercises quickly, particularly because it was a deload week, but it meant that my strength was also dropping off pretty quickly from set to set. So the next accessory here was loo raises. Again, I went really light at 5 kilos. These are actually what I did last time for my working set on my last week. I decided to go light because I was feeling really run down in my final session before this deload week. But here I decided to stick with the 5 kilos. They were light and I actually managed to get more than I did last week during my normal training week. I think I got a set of 20 and then just a set of 15 last time, whereas here I managed to get 2 sets of 20 on these loo raises. As you can see as well, I like to pick something around 20 reps when deloading, at least sort of 15. All of my accessories have been at least 15 reps. Going lighter is going to mean that the accessories aren't going to contribute to like neurological fatigue, and that is particularly important going into my next workout, the lower workout, where obviously the weights are much heavier when training your lower body. So the purpose of the deload is to deload your nervous system as well, to help prime you. So it's more important with the lower body, but also it is important here with the upper body, which is why everything was sets of at least 15. So this next exercise here was bicep curls. Now, I was assuming I was going to get at least 15 reps per arm, but I think I only managed to get 12 reps per arm on this first set, a set of 24, and then the next set, the biceps were feeling pretty pumped up, and I think I just got a set of 10. Again, trying to keep in mind that I'm not trying to push to complete failure. I could have got another set of 12 if I'd needed to, and I was finding that my bicep strength was, like I said, a bit weaker than I'd planned. I'd hoped to be getting sets of 15, but the fact that I only got sets of 12 showed that I was weaker than I thought, and I'd been able to get like sets of 10 with the 20 kilo dumbbells last workout, and even then that was like less than normal. I've been able to get sets of 15, 18 with the 20 kilo dumbbells. So my biceps were definitely feeling it and felt much weaker, but that is why it is time to deload. So going into the last accessory here, it is normally an ab exercise. However, my last training session for upper body, I did GHD sit-ups where I got a massive stretch on my ab muscles, and they were feeling so sore. So obviously, it's a deload week. There's no point like pushing sore muscles. The whole point is to help recover. So I decided instead to just do some grip training instead. So this is the Captains of Crush 1, which is quite an easy gripper. I've managed to close like the Captains of Crush 2.5 before. So my grip strength is pretty good. Like, I never really fail a deadlift on grip strength, but it's always good to keep working on it. And I have been experiencing a little wrist pain because I've been getting into the sport of golf a bit, but I swing pretty quickly and I'm a bit wristy with my swing, and it means that it's been affecting my training sessions, but just strengthening up the wrist with this grip work is going to help reduce that pain, as well as obviously I'm just gonna have to reduce the amount I'm doing golf because I don't want it to affect my normal training. I thought it was going to be an easy sport, like it wasn't going to have much of a physical demand, which it definitely doesn't compared to something like if I got into jiu-jitsu or MMA or something. But yeah, the wrist pain was an annoying side effect. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all that good stuff, and have a great day.